Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the second day of the Global TVET Forum. We have the online participants here as well. And I must start by thanking the online participants that joined us yesterday. We had just under 500 that stayed with us for either part of the program and some of them even the whole program. So thank you, the online participants, and we look forward to having you with us here today as well. May I remind you that the Global TVET Forum is being organized by UNESCO-UNEVOC in collaboration with the German Federal Ministry for Education, Family Affairs, Senior Citizens, Women and Youth, and with the support of the European Training Foundation, ETF, the International Labour Organization, ILO, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and the German Federal Institute for Vocational Education and Training, BIBB. So following the launch of the Towards a Global TVET Agenda initiative yesterday, today we will put a spotlight on initiatives of the Innovation and Excellence in TVET project, which is the contribution by UNESCO-UNEVOC, however, with also contributions from our partners, WorldSkills, ETF, ILO, OECD. And we will be presenting in more detail our initiatives, and we'll give you the opportunity as well to support us in shaping these initiatives, because these initiatives are for you, for the global TVET community. For the online participants, a kind reminder that we are offering interpretation in French, and for that, you need to click on the globe icon. Thank you to the online participants that yesterday contributed through several questions and messages. We were able to answer most of these, and we plan to do the same today. Unfortunately, it was not we were not able to take in your comments during the live discussions. There is also the poster exhibition that is available on the webpage of the event. And for the in-person participants here, we have the poster session just outside the room. Now, let us start with today's program. And for the welcome remarks, we have Mr. Oliver Diehl, who is the Deputy Head of Division for Continuing Vocational Training, European Vocational Education and Training Area from the Federal Ministry of Research, Technology and Space, Germany. The floor is yours, Mr. Oliver Diehl.
Good morning, everyone here in the room. Good morning to everyone who is watching online. I'm very pleased to be here and open the floor for the second day of our conference. And it's the day after we have launched the initiative towards a global TVET agenda. I've been thinking about what would be the right message for today and give us an orientation to where we're heading. I think I have a couple of minutes and I won't make it too complicated. The message is that of confidence. This whole initiative has been started as a complex taxation of what we could do to make happen what we pledged in Lyon last year, putting TVET on top of the agenda. And we have been collaborating with our colleagues, you have met them, with the international organizations, but also with you here in the room who are representing national organizations, universities, TVET providers, and of course, colleagues from the national ministries. We're very proud that this is happening today. And we're very proud that we have set the stage for many positive developments to come. What is the most positive thing to come is we are putting TVET right there where it belongs, right next to academic education, right there where pride and trust is for those who decide for VET education. I'm proud to be a member of the Department of Vocational Education. But of course, I know what it means to work every day hard to make this educational branch respected, make it more technology-oriented, make it more future-oriented. Vocational training is part of our common DNA. As a German, I may say it's part of Made in Germany. It's part of our culture. It has made us, I'm hesitant to say great at a certain time, but we believe that this is the core of who we are. This is the core of the transition that we are about to face. We have been talking about sustainability developments, the green transition, the digital transition. We can talk about this, but we can discuss about it, but we have to make it happen. And making it happen means working with people who do the VET career. So I'm very honored to be with you today. I'm very honored that we have finally made it. The German government has invested its venture capital in an idea. We hope that this idea flies. It flies only if you participate. And so we are a team. I call this, we are the global VET team. Not only those who are on the stage, but you are here in the audience. The invitation is real. Katrin Hanken said it yesterday. It's an open initiative. You're welcome. I think we have a good response already. We feel that OECD is with us, ILO is with us, the European Commission is with us, African Union is with us. This is all fine, but now we have to come from talking to making things happen. And this is, of course, very, very complex. So today is the opportunity to get into it. We don't want to be overly complex because we can't cope in the conference. I would just leave you by saying this is made in Germany, but meant globally. And here the offer that's on the table is very clear. The expertise that the German government has in vocational training, especially in the dual VET approach, which is quite a sophisticated way of doing vocational training. It implies, it's like a Swiss clock with very small little features, and we know that we have to adapt to the new realities of a global cooperation. But we also know that our experience is very, very valuable for those who are on the way to make VET future-oriented. We are open for partnerships. Katrin Hanken said it yesterday, and we mean it, not only her, but the whole ministry. And I'm saying this also for the minister. She is very dedicated to the educational issues. And of course, we have BIP on our side, which is a research institute. It's our partner institute. You have met the colleagues, and I'm very proud that not only BIP, UNESCO-UNEVOC, colleagues from the OECD, from the ILO, from ETF, they're part of the team. And now I invite you to be the team Global VET. I'm inviting you to be active today, and we have a third day. You will see some of the reality that we are trying to work with in Germany. We have 3 or 4 excursions on Friday, and if you have the time, if you have the energy still, please participate in those. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oliver Diehl, for your welcome remarks, and thanks to the input of the German government to advance TVET systems at a global level. While we were preparing for this conference, we made efforts, and we even discussed with our colleagues at UNESCO headquarters in order to make the conference more sustainable. And you have received already some information about this, but you can find more information on the webpage of the Global TVET Forum. We thank the participants for your collaboration, and we also invite you that when you are preparing your own events, you also take similar approaches. After this conference, we'll contact the non-sponsored participants and we will ask for your travel details because we need to understand how we'll compensate for the emissions made. Moving to the second part of this program, among us we have a number of UNESCO chairs. And the next session basically is focusing on how these UNESCO chairs collaborate at a regional and global level, how they support the advancement of TVET in UNESCO member states, and the panel will also explore how the UNESCO chairs will contribute to the implementation of the Towards a Global TVET Agenda initiative that was launched yesterday. We have a panel discussion, and this is going to be moderated by my colleague, Natalie, project manager at UNESCO-UNEVOC, and I give the floor to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Kenny. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad the room is full again. You all came back. I have the pleasure to moderate a short panel discussion to frame the themes of the day today, which will evolve around collecting and using TVET data in better ways. It will also evolve around strengthening TVET leadership and how we can improve and increase relevance, quality and stakeholder participation to make TVET more attractive. Of course, international collaboration is the connecting element between all of these themes. When preparing for this conference, I was trying to think of ways how to highlight the various contexts in which UNESCO drives the global TVET agenda and how we can build on the structures that already exist within UNESCO that are working on TVET and of exploring their role in international collaboration towards our shared goals. So this is how I invited some of our UNESCO chairs working on TVET themes to bring in the researchers' perspective into our discussions and to take the researchers' view on what we have heard so far. So the idea, as Kenny already outlined, is to showcase how the UNESCO chairs advance regional collaboration, also with a view on South-South collaboration, based on some examples of their current activities and how their work can inform the development of TVET leadership or strengthening TVET attractiveness. So we are connecting what we heard yesterday with the themes that we will address today. And let me invite to the stage the three panelists. Professor Demola Akinyoade. He is director of the Part-Time Studies program and formerly head of the Department of Peace and Development Studies at Affero. Welcome. At Affero Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, ABUAD for short, in Nigeria. And he holds the UNESCO Chair on Peace and Citizenship, which also has a TVET component. Welcome. Then I invite Professor Michael Phillips. He is Director of Applied Research, Innovation and Economic Development, and also our UNEVOC Center Coordinator at the University of Doha for Science and Technology in Qatar. Welcome. And I have the pleasure to invite Associate Professor Affero bin Ismail, Head of the UTHM Digital Innovation Center, and Associate Professor in the Department of Engineering Education. And he's also our UNEVOC Center Coordinator at UTHM, Universiti Tun Hussein in Malaysia. And he is representing Professor Jailani of UTHM, who is holding the UNESCO Chair on TVET Educator. So I will join you. So maybe, to start, I would like to ask one of our youngest additions to the UNESCO chairs to maybe briefly explain what is a UNESCO chair and what motivated UTHM to take on this role.
All right, thank you, Natalie, and good morning, everyone. So I'm honored to be here today before you, and I can say that we are the youngest among the chairholder in TVET, I can say. And as you all know that the chair for UNESCO is a university-based position or program established under UNESCO Chairs program since 1992. So I would say that if you want to become a UNESCO chair, you have to be one of the university. So I believe that what motivates us to become a new UNESCO chair in TVET, I would say, because I still remember from yesterday's session, one of our colleagues mentioned about the importance of to include teachers' education and training into the TVET ecosystem. So this is where we comes in, because to consider that to provide UTHM as the hub for innovations and teachers and leaderships in the regional, for ASEAN, for example, and the Asia in the whole. So I believe that our roles is very important for us to share the knowledge sharing and also to become the reference center for TVET teachers training among ASEAN. And also I would like to say that we are happy to contribute the practices in regional to the global level.
Thank you, Affero. And I think it's a very fitting contribution, because I remember, I think Maribel yesterday mentioned we have to think of the teachers and trainers. So here's one taking care of that. Okay. Yeah, I would like to invite briefly, before we dive into the content, each of you to introduce yourself, what the focus theme of your chair is about, and maybe some flagship project or activity you are currently carrying out.
Okay. Thank you very much, Natalie. Good morning, everyone. I must say I am very deeply grateful to be part of this event because personally I'm passionate about TVET, and I've been like that for close to a decade. In addition to that, Nigeria is undergoing a revitalization effort in TVET, which makes this program very, very timely for us, for my chair, and the other chair in my university. So I bring greetings from my twin chair holder. We have two chairs in ABUAD. That is Professor Abiodun, the chair holder on entrepreneurship, education, and sustainable development, and also from the university community. So my chair, the chair on peace and citizenship in Affero Babalola University, the focus of our work is in the intersection of education, human security, economic opportunity, citizenship, and sustainable peace. And one of our crucial projects we are working on currently is called BIVES, B-I-V-E-S, which stands for Breaking Infrastructure of Violence in Ekiti State. The perspective we'll be bringing on this morning is how can we use TVET deliberately to prevent violence, to promote the culture of peace. Because like Boutros Ghali in his famous statement said, there cannot be peace without development, neither can we have development without peace. And our BIVES project is important because, you see, Nigeria has a large population of youth. About 70% of our population, their age is between 18 and 35, and that is about 160 million living and breathing youths. You see, this enormous human capital. Yeah. And now, when you mix this with unemployment, these youths, they become vulnerable to being recruited as foot soldiers for political violence. And politicians are really taking advantage of that. We have foot soldiers readily available to be used to intimidate opponents, to do all sorts of things. And in the past almost 10 years, it's going to becoming a career path. So we are our work is focusing on how can we deliberately use TVET to deplete this pool of foot soldiers and convert them to agents of economic development and promotion of peace. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing more from your insights
that's
and
excellent.
impacts. All right, please, you may
Same thing.
introduce your focus.
Well, good morning. I would like to thank UNEVOC and the German Ministry, Federal Ministry of Education, Family Affairs, Senior Citizens,
Yes.
Women, and Youth. Oh, well, but I suppose we men can be in family affairs. But anyway, so it's an honor to be here. And one of the importance is that we see the German government made in Germany, but also put in the resources behind. It's so easy in today's society to move away from resourcing education training because it's, there's other demands on budget. So I have a UNESCO Chair in TVET and Sustainable Development, but also I hold the CAPCO Chair. CAPCO is a Qatar petrochemical company, chair in vocational education. So that is one of the industries on which we supply our pipeline of talent. And also I'm the coordinator of the UNEVOC Centre, which is Qatar's only UNEVOC Centre. So just to contextualize the university, became a University of Science and Technology, University of Doha, in February 2022. It's only just coming up over 3 years. However, previous 20 years, it was a branch campus of a Canadian vocational college. So our TVET roots go back a long time. And just to give an indication, when I joined in 2019, we had 1,800 students. We now have 9,000 students. Our students are 80 nationalities, over 80 nationalities, and over 70 nationalities of staff. And on equality, the females are 51% and the males are 49%. Wow. So, from the TVET diplomas and applied technical degrees, we have 5 colleges, but it also demonstrates for TVET excellence that you do need the research as the next stage. So I work with UNESCO Doha office and for the GCC in Yemen, and I work with UNEVOC, obviously. We expand knowledge and we bring in through conferences. So I was conference chair of an international symposium on education for future-ready workforce. And Oliver Pume, who was one of your colleagues, was one of the keynote speakers. But it's interesting. I was sitting here yesterday thinking about how we were talking about collaboration and cooperation, and we were mentioning across Europe and also saying, and others, but there are major organizations that you could look to. So for example, we work with the OIC. That's the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. 57 member states, 48 of which are Islamic. We also work with ISESCO, and we're going to be hosting in January a conference on TVET, and it is going to be a priority. So it is strengthening TVET systems, skills for economic transition, and decent work. So that will be at the end of January in 2026, and it was the university is hosting it with UNESCO Doha office and ISESCO. So we reach out to the south, as well as working with the north, we reach out to the south. And my colleague Babalola with Priority Africa workshops. And that is a focus theme of UNESCO, Campus Africa. So we work, so obviously I work on some of the things, workshops on higher education. Asian communities, the ASEAN community, 11 member states, they in the Global South, and in partnership with Times Higher Education, I did some research. with colleagues, other UNESCO chairs, on sustainable development goals. And one of the things I was very interested in, the gaps, the reporting gaps, were very similar to what was said yesterday regarding TVET. So a sustainable future, comes through TVET. And I'll leave it there because otherwise I'll ask an academic to talk and he will. So thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let me
Affero.
continue. So I will briefly introduce about our UNESCO chair. Our UNESCO chair name, so the topic is TVET Educators. So it's very short and simple, but the responsibility is very huge. Since we are, if you've been informed that 26th October, few days ago, Timor-Leste is now part of the ASEAN as the 11th member state. So our role as the regional hub for innovations and teachers' educations in the Southeast Asia and for the ASEAN is very important, as we discussed with the UNESCO Jakarta. And just 1 hour ago, we had a webinar with all 5 countries under UNESCO Jakarta office, and also thanks to the support from UNESCO-UNEVOC. And I would say that this is one step, what we can say that initiative by UTHM as a TVET educators chairholder to encourage all states members to leverage and to uplift the image of their TVET educators. So I can say that thanks to UNESCO-UNEVOC, because without their support, and also I would like to say thank you to our colleagues from Dortmund University, one of the UNESCO chair in TVET. They are also part of our journey to become one of the UNESCO chair in TVET. And also I believe that in the regional, in ASEAN countries, actually we are also working closely with CMU WOTEC. Dr. Paerno is also here. We're contributing a lot of materials and knowledge into the platform named CVET. And also, I believe that you're also aware of there is one association for regional association, Vocational Education for Teachers, RAFTE, which is hosted by Thailand, RMUTT, also one of the UNEVOC Center. So I can say that the UNEVOC is a backbone of the cooperation and partnerships that happenings all around, also regionally and international into the global TVET agenda.
Thank you, Affero. I think it's very nice to see how we can establish and further strengthen this link between the UNEVOC network and the UNESCO chairs and the academic component. Because it's often in our conferences one item that is being reported as lacking or not being strong enough, the research component, the availability of reliable data, and so on. So you have kind of already shifted into the actual second question about South-South collaboration and how you collaborate with other institutions, with other researchers in your respective fields of work. I was wondering if we connect back to yesterday. We heard a lot from multilateral organizations, the ILO, the OECD, the ETF. What can they learn, or maybe what are we discussed in our pre-meeting, what are the special characteristics of South-South collaboration, and what can maybe the multilateral organizations learn from that? I don't know, you may pick your order.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The UNESCO Chairs in ABUAD has a number of collaborations, both South-South and national. 2019-2020, we had a training program for youth in agri-businesses. We call it YIHASA, Youth Employment in Agri-Businesses and Sustainable Agriculture. So it was a collaboration between our university, IITA. It was funded by IFAD, African Rise, and the focus was to train about 1,000 youth in Nigeria and Benin Republic. Eventually, we trained about 900 of them. Also, my chair has a working relationship with the UNEVOC Center in Nigeria. That's the only polytechnic in Nigeria that's the UNEVOC Center. That is Yabatech. Yabatech is led by the cerebral Dr. Franca Agama, Their experiences also have shown that, there's collaboration with a polytechnic in China, and through their network in UNEVOC, they are able to mentor other institutions in Nigeria. Yes, they're doing that. They also have this collaboration with industries, Dangote Industries, 7-Up, and so on. Also, there is one of our partners in my chair proposing a community-led TVET institution. You know, many times when we talk about TVET, there are some underserved communities. Usually, Nigerian government, usually what the urban dwellers have greater access. Yeah. So this partner is talking about establishing a community-based, community-driven TVET center in a village that's my village anyway, Kuta. They call it Kuta Community Center. It's still in the pipeline. But, this showcases grassroots collaboration in TVET. And also, our BVS program, we are collaborating with, outside the university with security agencies. We are collaborating with political actors in order to reach these foot soldiers. So when we talk about collaboration, UNESCO Chairs, we play very important role in linking both globally, nationally, and at the grassroots, and also strategically, interagency collaboration in our activities. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was a great illustration of the diversity when you think of TVET, or the combining all the different levels and also bringing the learnings from one level into the other. Yeah.
It's foot soldiers. It's getting the concept and the realization of other problems and challenges. So, because the UNESCO Chairs are a hub of expertise and innovation, and its primary role is to bridge the gap between academic research, policy, and practice. Through South-South cooperation, it enables countries to mutually collaborate, cooperate to the benefit of both institutions or both countries. One of the things I was lucky to do was pay a visit to China with ministry officials from the GCC, and I was the only academic as part of it. And I went to Hangzhou Technical and Vocational College, and I was blown away. I saw a state-of-the-art building, so attractiveness. So it is something that people wanted to move to. The demonstration or showing of the student output was remarkable. I went in to see these 6 girls working on computers in fashion design. They were producing clothes, designing clothes, and they were then being made. And it was part of a business within the college that they had men's clothes, female clothes. And the important thing there is that those students were digitalized skills, innovation, transferable skills. So it didn't matter that it was fashion. They could transfer those abilities to other disciplines. And that's another benefit of TVET. I'll give you another thing. We went to Alibaba Cloud, and their platform hosts training for 200,000 students. You can think of how many universities, colleges that is. And they were also working with the East China Normal University, and those of you who know what the Normal University system in China is the high-level policy. And they were looking and they were working to find or improve vocational training efficiency. So it's important. So we're looking at another issue, and this is something for us to think about. There are 12 million graduates from China. 12 million. A lot of them can't get jobs. Many of them are going back to technical and vocational institutions to learn skills for a job, skills they didn't get from their designs and their normal degrees and master's programs. TVET attractiveness, this needs to be shown and told and explained to parents. And especially if you've got a lovely looking building that you bring, you're really pleased to take your children there. That's another attractiveness.
And then it comes back to the resourcing. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I've got to respond to that. It comes to resourcing. Absolutely. But this Alibaba cloud, they were working where in rural communities, in areas where people didn't have digital access. They didn't have special, like all the homes didn't have internet access in the rural areas. And they've got a UNESCO chair in Indruled as part of Beijing Normal University, where they're looking to try and bridge these gaps.
Yeah.
But it is right, it is resourced, but we can think, and when you've got marvelous systems, you can improve, like Alibaba Cloud. Cloud.
So we see that accessibility is an important topic, and we see very different approaches. One is a cloud and remote access, basically. The other one is a community-led TVET institution. So there are various ways to go about it.
Okay, I would like to elaborate more about South-South cooperations between among our ASEAN countries, and I believe that our role is very important, considering that TVET teachers are very important in generating skilled workforce for the future. So based on our study that on the three important components, which are the process, technology, and the people, we are covering all three aspects and three components that we want each of the teachers to aware that their role is not just about educating, but also motivating and inspiring. So this is important that we are developing a new structure of curriculum to integrate values into the curriculum. So as we are aware that industry involvement can always be at most important, but the attitude and behavior of the students are also critical to taken care of. So by having TVET educators UNESCO chair, so with the regional countries and TVET institutions across the ASEAN, we believe that we need to come out with a specific guidelines or standards can be used for the whole ASEAN. For example, we have developed together with CIMIO for regional TVET teacher standard. It's been launched a few years ago, and also now I heard from Dr. Pariono, they are also developing the Green Competency Index for teachers and the students. So this is very impressive that I think as a regional and the ASEAN countries are sharing the same demographic and also the same character. So our issues and our approaches are a little bit different from other regions. But the thing is, I believe that while we are taking the journey into the cooperation between all the countries, we have to compare and to find a gap between all the countries and what are things that we can dodge into deeper and to explore the possibility for the teachers to have equal standard across ASEAN countries. And the cooperation between all these countries is not only about developing the TVET teachers, but also to make sure that our students, our future graduates, are equipped with relevant skills and they are become a workforce ready after graduating.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can I quickly
like
add something?
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you very much. While talking about collaboration and all sorts of a partnership, I forgot to add one important element, and that is the place of a national policy for TVET. You know, earlier on I said that this is a good time for Nigeria because the current president is unusually committed, showing an unusual commitment to TVET. Recently, there's a policy to train about 1 million Nigerian youth in TVET, and when the portal was opened, within few days, 1.3 million registered, and most of them are graduates. Graduates who now realize that just degrees are not enough, blue-collar jobs may not be there, and are willing, to learn vocational, education, to do training, to have something, good livelihood. So, you see, the place of national policy support framework is very important for all this collaboration, for all this initiative in TVET to work. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. I think it's a great point, because we often have this narrative of attractiveness is missing, but that's actually an example that it is an attractive offer, and people see the opportunities that come with it. Yeah. I think I would like to open the floor for some questions or comments, if there are any. Before, I still have another question, but I think it would be interesting to also involve the audience and see if anyone has a question or an addition. We also have TU Dortmund in the room, who's holding a chair, and Shenzhen Polytechnic University, also working on TVET. Yes, please, Mr. Diehl. We need a microphone, yes. Thank you.
You have one of these.
Yeah, thank you very much for your interesting inputs. I'm asking Professor Akinyoade about your input on violence and vocational training. And you said there's no peace if you don't fight violence and crime maybe, and let's say citizenship values. This is a very new... Genau. This is a very new perspective. We have not taken it into account so far. What we have been discussing is competitiveness, it's about global leadership, it's about innovation. How does this fit in the talk that we have been raising yesterday? Is this a talk that goes into the core of vocational training, or is it do you see it as an exclusive little flower that grows on the sidelines? And if not, how could we integrate it into mainstream VET discussion? That would be very interesting, because it cannot come from VET schools, it cannot come from the ministries, it must come from academia. And please build a bridge so I can use these arguments. I see the importance, but I don't have yet access to what you're trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. The African Union representative yesterday emphasized the need to have homegrown solutions in TVET. You see, for most of Africa, I had a brief discussion with him before he came on yesterday, and I was sharing my thoughts. For most of Africa, insecurity is a major problem. And a core driver of insecurity is unemployment. Like the saying goes, idle hands is a devil's workshop. In our ongoing research, BVS project, when we surveyed these political, you don't want to call them thugs, people that are mobilized for political violence, many of them showed genuine interest in living that path if they are given opportunities of TVET training. In fact, more than 80% shows that if I have as little as, if I have an engagement that is giving me as little as $50 to $70 per month, I will no longer do political mobilization. I will no longer be involved in political violence. You see, and that is the reality in most African countries. You see, there is a teeming population of youths that are available for violence. And at the slightest, cheapest offering, they are ready to be foot soldiers, to go on the street, vandalize, destroy, and they do that year in, year out. But the truth is, if they are given specialized TVET training that is connected to economic opportunity, not just training them alone, but connecting them to economic opportunity, either in form of a grant to establish themselves, like we did in our YESA program about 5 years ago, these youths will become agents of economic development and peace in the society. So in that way, I think it should be a mainstream, not the flower, mainstream component of our TVET to use TVET intentionally to address the issues of violence and insecurity, especially in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I think we can even...
Could I follow up just exactly what you're saying, Demola? The Thailand, I was in a talk by the ambassador of Thailand in Qatar, and he was saying about the Queen who set up initially years ago where drugs was a major problem in the north, and she said children aren't born bad, they just have no opportunity. And so over the years, they've created a sustainable economy utilizing tourism, sustainable tourism, the materials, and they've built up businesses, and they're exporting. So it's exactly what you were saying. And the Asian community has again come up with a solution.
Any other comments, questions, please? And then Pariono is next.
Thank you. This is Niels Brock from Rhizomatica and Lognet's Local Network Initiative, and I just wanted to briefly comment on what Demola and Philip were saying, because I think bringing together this community aspect and the cloud-based learning, I can see a lot of potential when talking about how to strengthen TVET. And so also from what we heard yesterday about the idea how we can bring the resources to people in rural communities, be this communities or be this local enterprises, I think there's a learning opportunity there, and also for cooperation. And I think it goes beyond commercial cloud provider. There can also be community-centered connectivity. That's what we work on, where the community is in the driving seat, really to coordinate the local networks, and then to have access both to educational resources and also to training. And so this could also be a response to questions of migration that we discussed yesterday. So there doesn't have to be people going to the cities if they can meaningful connect with the work that is done. And I think, yeah, there's a gap, but there's also a huge opportunity if we bring those things together. So, thank you.
And thank you for adding this component of migration. We always think it has to be about crossing borders, but actually migrations from rural areas into cities is also a huge topic. Yeah, Pariono, please.
Thank you. First, congratulations to UTHM, especially being the chair for TVET educators. I think that is very timely. I'm just observing in the room here to see how many and how diverse our organizations with regards to addressing TVET. I know that TVET is, again, we try to bring it as the global agenda, but I think we need still a lot of organizations that at the end can support this development, as well as I think right now I'm just trying to throw this maybe assignment to UNEVOC, just to start mapping the existing organizations at the country levels, and then moving to the regional levels, and then at the global level, and then try to find the synergy, so that at the end this, so many organizations, in a way, not doing something that doing unnecessary overlapping, but can be a synergy that we can do so that at the end, our efforts can be more effective. But it doesn't mean that having more is becoming meaningless. But I'm really encouraging to have more because, again, TVET, let me just give an example, like in Indonesia, for example. Secondary TVET institutions is 15,000 schools. And that's the number of the schools. And that's the secondary level. And then the post-secondary level, the polytechnics, they have about 100 somethings. But the number of students, millions. So if we just rely on like SEMIO-VOCTEC, one center with only 40 staff, and dealing with those number of institutions is impossible for us to help. So again, thank you for, again, UTHM for leading this UNESCO chair. That at the end, maybe, of course, we will collaborate and more synergy. And also we have the Colombo Plan Staff College in the Philippines, also doing similar thing, but for the Asia Pacific. But my message here is that, these existing organizations, sometimes we may overlook or maybe forget that there are also the existing other organizations that we do similar things. But having a meeting or working together or finding some synergies, how to make our efforts effective, I think that we need to continue discussing. So I think it's good for us to know that there are existing organizations, but I think how to move forward, maybe having a map, because I think, like in SEMIO, besides SEMIO-VOCTEC, we have also SEMIO-TET, so dealing with TVET. But I think nobody heard because of the development is continuing. And also now with the trend of having council, and the ASEAN, we have ASEAN TVET Council. In Malaysia now they have also Malaysia TVET Council. This is to coordinate the efforts in TVET within the country as well as within the region. But I think this is happening not only in ASEAN, but also in other regions and also part of the world. I think, again, if we have that good map, and then we find synergies among all of these different organizations, I think that will be an excellent effort for the next few years. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the task. It's work for the coming years. But, yeah. Please.
Yes, I think you just mapped out an important role for UNESCO chairs. For instance, in Nigeria, we have about 250 polytechnics, over 300 universities, and we have only 3 UNEVOC centers. Now, the federal government is investing a lot, but our role as UNESCO chair is to do what you have just said, to monitor implementation, to synergize between all these national organizations, national agencies, and education center, to measure the impact of TVET, beyond job creation, what social impacts does TVET institutions have, what peace and conflict impact, and so on and so forth. So that is why we are, the academic arm, UNESCO chairs, in research. We have to research these things. We have to monitor data. We have to see patterns, and then link this with the global TVET agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You are moving into the third and last question. How can you contribute to the Global TVET Agenda Initiative? Perfect. Are there any other comments or questions we can take? We still have some time.
Could I just
Go ahead.
Absolutely right, Fariono. And we are, there's my notes gone. There's another aspect, and why UNESCO Chair is a strong institution, because we also have UniTwin networks and the expansion. And Fariono, you were with me looking at setting up a sustainable education future UniTwin network, and these are going to be really important to inform. And we must also inform our own institutions. So, for example, at the university, we've put a Master of Science in STEM and TVET education, and it is for teachers in TVET schools to be trained, so enhancing or improving the quality of education, which was mentioned yesterday. So there's lots of mechanisms, and a great idea of pulling everyone, the job you gave UNESCO-UNEVOC, all of the organizations that are dealing with TVET, and so that you know who to collaborate with. Sorry.
Thank you. But that was perfect. Please pass it on to Affero, I think, for a closing remark or the perspective. So.
I just want to add that we have around 1,000 UNESCO shareholders around the globe and about 45 unit-twin network across the region. So I just learned that being one of the new member of UNESCO Chair, we got a good support from brothers and sisters around the world. So we are not saying that UTHM is an expert in TVET educators, but we can say that with the global partnerships and the cooperation between all the agencies and TVET institutions, we can always exchange and to learn from each other. So I believe that this is not a silo effort, but it's a collective effort from multiple entries, multi-sectors, and including industries as well, because industry are the important components in TVET educators and TVET education system. So by become one of the TVET shareholder, I believe that this is it comes with a huge responsibility, not only for our institutions, but we are responsible to educate and also to share our knowledge. And the important thing is how we want to reach a larger audience of TVET stakeholders around the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are coming to the end of this panel. I thank you very much for joining and being ready to discuss here. Thanks to the audience for your questions, for your attention. And yeah, I will hand back to Kenny for the next session where we have something to celebrate. Thank you.